100 Days, 100 Movies. I'm Tyler, and today we're watching Lady Bird. I've been recommended this for like literal years, and I finally got around to it. And I'm happy I waited because this is definitely way more important if you are like in the time I am, because I just graduated high school, I'm moving into college, and that's what this entire movie's about. So I think it's definitely a good thing that I waited until after I finished high school in order to watch this. I wouldn't say that I had a very like normal high school experience. I never really like talked to many people. I never really like went outside my comfort zone, if that makes sense. I kind of just got the same group of friends in freshman year and then just bummed around with them the entire 4 years I was there. So I did not have a very like crazy high school experience, and therefore this movie didn't resonate with me in certain levels, but I definitely can see a lot of interesting perspectives that's going with, especially with individualism and like maturity in a different way. To kind of begin, going into this movie, I didn't think I was going to like it. Because I watched like the trailer, like the little snippet on Netflix, and I was like, oh, so it's gonna be like a like expressing yourself type movie with the whole thing, like dramaticness of her like getting out of it, because that's the opening scene, and that's what was played on Netflix when I like hovered over it. I'm sorry that I'm talking about this, but it's pretty important. I saw that whole thing. I'm like, oh, so it's probably gonna be like this kind of like classic, like, oh, express yourself thing. Like it was gonna be like one of those quirky movies. I mean, she calls herself Lady Bird. She like jumps out of the car when her mom's ignoring her, stuff like that. So I thought it was gonna be kind of like one of those types of movies, like the teenage experience, stuff like that. And it kind of is, but I think it's a little nuanced, so it did make it way more enjoyable. To give a blanket synopsis, it's basically about a girl. Her name is Christine, but she calls herself Lady Bird. She's played by I do this every time that I have to say someone's name because I have it written down over there, like far away on my second monitor, but I have to always crouch down to look at it, and it's always these weird names. I don't know how to pronounce it. It's Saoirse Ronan, and she calls herself Lady Bird in it, and basically it's her final year of high school, and she's going through it, and she has a lot of disputes with her mom. She has a lot of stuff involving her, because she's definitely a lower income compared to everyone at her high school, because she's in California, and California's like expenses are insane, so it's like most people who go there to high school, and it's a private Catholic high school, so everyone who goes there is like super rich except for her. And basically she grows throughout the film. She goes from calling herself Lady Bird, and then she basically matures and learns all like the struggles and stuff with like aging, almost not aging, but like kind of progressing through your life and kind of the nostalgia that comes with it. And I thought it was very interesting. My likes of it, again, going into it, I thought it was gonna be way different. It makes you like her. She is flawed, and they definitely, like, you're not supposed to enjoy those parts of her. If you look at her, like the things she does where she's like trying to get attention and stuff like that, if you look at that as kind of a positive thing, you're definitely kind of missing it. You're meant to see her as a flawed character because she says all these things, she does all this stuff that is definitely of her age, and it's definitely like immature, and she does these things that are considered to be like not very great. I mean, she's going against people who are hypocritical and stuff like that, but still she's doing it in a way that's very immature and very sad almost, because she's trying to become not popular, but you know what I'm saying. She's trying to become beloved. She's trying to be liked. She's trying to be different, because in this world, individuality is basically dead. And it's very depressing to see that, especially in the youth, because that's why people strive to express themselves and do all this individualistic things. She's calling herself Lady Bird because she's trying so desperately to stick out when it's so difficult too. And so she's calling herself Lady Bird. She's doing all this crazy stuff. She dyes her hair. She does all these like things to make herself individual. And you could definitely feel that. Me, I never really did any of that. I didn't really care about sticking out. I kind of just bummed my way. I wore nothing crazy. I never tried to make new friends. And I kind of just like coasted through high school. So I didn't really feel any of that. But certain people I feel like definitely would resonate with that idea of trying so desperately to be different, because it's such a depressing thought that everyone's the same. Because I mean, what is more depressing? Everyone's the same or everyone's different? If everyone's different, then no one can connect. But if everyone's the same, everyone can connect on a certain level, and that's even worse. So I feel like that there's definitely a lot of nuance there in the way that it's told, and the way that she's definitely flawed, but it's done in a perspective where you feel so immersed in her world that you really are drawn into her perspective. So you kind of want to root for her, but she's still doing a lot of stuff that's considerably immature. And her desire to be such an individual definitely draws her away from everyone around her and definitely isolates her, which I think is kind of an interesting concept. It is very relatable in that sense. I did like dabble about that, but like I could definitely see someone watching this and feeling such a like resonation with the main lead, because even to some degree I do, because it's striving to be individual. Everyone wants to feel individual, and that's the point that it's trying to tell here. And it is a depressing look on aging, because at the end she goes through this whole thing and eventually she moves away from this. She stops calling herself Ladybird, and that's my favorite scene, is when she doesn't call herself Ladybird for the first time, when she goes by Christine, because you feel throughout the movie, because when she calls herself Ladybird, it's definitely like it's like, you're ew, that's such like a desperation, that's such an attention-seeking thing that she's doing. But when she finally stops calling herself Ladybird, you feel almost this sadness that she's finally grown past this, she's finally matured. But there's that sense of losing individuality. There's a sense of detaching yourself from who you want to be, that she kind of just becomes kind of one of everyone else. She loses that individuality that made her so interesting. She loses that immaturity, but in return, with the maturity and the respect that she gets, she loses herself in it. And I think that's a really sad, bittersweet moment, but it is a sign of maturity. It's a sign of her moving past her previous flaws, and I thought that was really interesting. My only really dislikes is this movie, it was really good. This is my third favorite now. It's number 3 on my 100 list, behind Midnight Cowboy and From Dusk Till Dawn. I keep saying this, From Dusk Till Dawn I don't think will ever be topped. I really don't see a movie coming close to it, because that's just... if you watch From Dusk Till Dawn, that's the exact type of movie I like. The subversiveness, the craziness, the off-the-wall bonkers insanity of it cannot be topped. This is definitely a way more gritty, realistic, and serious movie. And even though I think it's really good, I don't think it'll ever come close to From Dusk Till Dawn in my mind. And my only real dislikes, because that's my personal taste, I do think it was a little boring. I think it was missing kind of a little pizzazz that would have brought it up. But again, you can't add vampires flying around eating people's throats. You can't do that. So again, that's not a crazy dislike, but I do think at some points this movie was a little uninteresting. And also, it didn't personally resonate with me because it does feel very directed to high school girls aged like 17 to 20. Like, it feels like it's super specified to that age group. Like, if I watched this when I was 14, I would hate this movie. Straight up, I would think this is a stupid movie. Watching it now, at the peak of when I basically would enjoy it, I see it as a very good film and a very nuanced film. But if I were to see this movie like 6 years ago, I would hate it. If I were to watch this movie 6 years from now, I think I would like it less. So it is a very specific movie, but what it's trying to do, it does it in such a great light. So I do give it a 9 out of 10. I do think this is a very good film. The whole thing where she's basically talking about nostalgia, like how she misses just driving around in her hometown. Like that was a good part. And I can definitely see that being a very like impactful moment to some people, because I'm leaving my hometown. I'm going to be living in Boston for a while. So I'm definitely going to feel that as time goes on. I kind of wish I might even rewatch it after my first year of college. But that feeling of missing your hometown and just missing being there is something that's like definitely resonates with a lot of people, and I think that's what makes this movie so like relatable in that sense. And it's just a bittersweet movie overall, and I really liked it for that. So yeah, I'm gonna start rambling on about Lady Bird. I really liked it. You should definitely go see it, and yeah, get out of here. Goodbye.